Good morning, my fellow Malaysians. It's a while since I've come on the air to speak to you, and I think today we are currently worried about the COVID 19 pandemic in Malaysia. We seem to be following India pretty closely, and in any case, our government, like the Indian government, currently is very weak. And in spite of emergency powers, our Prime Minister is unwilling to take any steps to stop COVID. But he has only three concerns, really, and three choices. Number one, he has to worry about the Malaysian business. Number two, he has to worry about Malaysian lives. And third, he has to worry about his political survival. You see, to stop COVID progression is actually very easy. Medically, we all doctors know that, and we must be willing to do what it takes. The DG has for almost a year plus telling everybody what needs to be done. Unfortunately, nobody wants to follow that. The virus now is mutating. With its double mutations, as in India, it needs to find hosts. Without a host, this virus cannot mutate. So if we isolate the virus, we can easily stop its progression. As the host is isolated, maybe for 21 days now, as Singapore has decided to isolate all people from India for 21 days, because it may take a while for the test to be positive, and number two, people may be passing the virus without being showing any signs of having it. So after 21 days in isolation, hopefully we can kill the virus with medication and drugs if you have symptoms, so that it will not be passed on. Okay? Or the host will be killed by the virus, and if that happens, even then the virus will die, because it needs a host to continue surviving. Okay? Now we have to worry, if you're worried about businesses, if lives are lost, what businesses will remain? Yes, we will have a hard time, but if we survive, we can always build again. So I think protection of lives is paramount. Honestly, I feel the government should have a strict lockdown now for at least a month. Forget about Ramadan bazaars, which are super spreader events. Forget about visiting relatives and friends. These are super spreader events too. Forget about group prayers in gurdwaras, in churches, in mosques, in temples. These are potential super spreader events. Now we should be careful where we go. Forget about traveling. Every time you travel, you spread something, or somebody spreads something to you. There is no need to go to the market to get your stuff. Nowadays, people with market vans come around to your household to supply you. Enterprising people have already started to do this. Okay. Next thing we need to do is close schools, as kids need freedom when they are in groups, and they will not listen. They will not distance, and neither will they wear the mask properly. The worst of the lot are the kindergarten kids. These are small kids who will, be upset and cry very often, and they need a hug to quieten them down, which is the worst thing you can do during a pandemic. Now, MRTs, buses, and trains should also stop, as SOP and social distances is impossible. You can put people there, but nobody will listen. And it's not necessary to do anything and go anywhere, because all businesses should have been closed. It's a mockery, when we do air travel. You go to the airport, you see everywhere, there are lines 1 meter. The minute you enter the plane, everybody's packed like sardines. This is a joke, really a joke. Now, the third thing the government is worried about is political survival, as the government is worried, and if people die, let me assure you, no politician will survive. One day, Tansri, the emergency will have to end. And then what? Think of Malaysia and the beloved Malaysians and not your personal survival. You know, history will be the judge, Tansri. You know, in this emergency, you have the powers. The buck stops with you. Please think carefully and do what it takes, or you will have a lot to answer to God. Thank you.